Hello and welcome to today's live out coaching call and community conversation. Today we're going to be talking about these four little titles that we tend to use when we are describing how it is we are showing up for ourselves in our life. So if you're new, I always like to take a second to introduce myself. My name is Diane Parham. I am the creator of the online course and community, the Intermittent Fasting for Today's Aging Woman, as well as our midlife mindset shift course. If you are a graduate of the Intermittent Fasting course and you would like to jump into our midlife mindset shift course, registration is currently open. Just send me an email with the email address that you registered or graduated from the IF course with, and I will get you registration information. Registration will close this Sunday, so now is a great time to get in with us. But today we are going to be talking about intermittent fasting, binge eating, weight loss, and us women. If you are joining us on YouTube, please take a second to hit that subscribe button for me. That way you will be notified when we go live or have any content that's uploaded there. Take that extra little step to hit that bell notification. I know a lot of you are saying that you're not getting notified, so just make sure that you've hit that bell notification. And the same goes for Facebook. If you wouldn't mind, make sure you're following us over there. We have some really fun announcements to make, so stick around to the end for that. I'll kind of break it up between my discussion today and our opening up of comments and questions. This is our time to have a community conversation, so please use the comment section. Make sure you're introducing yourself. Let us know if you are a graduate or maybe you're going to be jumping in with our last intermittent fasting course for 2022, which will start on November 5th. Whatever you want to share, we're here for it. And we always love congratulating all the women in our community who have great success stories that they want to share. So don't be shy, share your success as well. So let's get started. So the reason this topic came up at this time is because I've gotten a lot of questions over the past couple of weeks about binge eating. And I always just assume that that's because someone probably did a video about binge eating or maybe intermittent fasting and binge eating. I don't know. But it's always interesting to me how the questions that I get seem to be clumped around a time frame. So I thought we would go ahead and talk about this today. So what I want you to think about as a woman is the words that you use to describe whatever it is you're going through, right? Or how you are showing up in your life. And we do a lot of this work inside the intermittent fasting course, as well as inside the midlife mindset shift course. And what I want us to think about is how easy it is to just identify as something that could be very problematic, right? And I am not a doctor. I am not a therapist. So if you feel like you are someone who identifies as someone with a binge eating disorder, I highly recommend that you seek out professional advice for that. If you're a woman who's just using binge as a phrase or a title that you're attaching to yourself, then we're going to talk about that today. It's just as easy to say I am an intermittent faster as it is to say I binge eat or I have problems with weight loss or whatever it is that you're acknowledging for yourself. It's just as easy to flip the script on something and identify as something that's positive as opposed to negative, right? And so if you're saying to yourself, I can't be successful or something, or I can't lose weight because I tend to binge eat, we have to get to why it is you identify as that and what is binge eating. So that was one of the things that I got asked this past week was like, do you binge eat? I don't even know what binge eating means. Like what, like I'm not diagnosing myself as a binge eater. So what, you have to tell me what you think binge eating is, right? And the answer came back as, well, do you eat chips and do you eat this and do you eat that? And what we have to remember is the category of foods that you choose to eat does not classify you as a binge eater. A binge eater is, or binge eating, the activity of it is really the mental and emotional state you show up in around food. And how do you execute that mindset? That is really what binge eating is. And for a lot of women, it's uncontrolled, unconscious eating is really what I think a lot of women are identifying as binge eating, right? So I share very openly, like when my kids were younger, I would stress out when they got home from school and everything felt chaotic. And I would stand in the pantry and close the door and eat goldfish and drink Diet Coke. Like that was just me like checking out, right? But I don't necessarily classify myself as a binge eater. I was checking out. Like I didn't want to deal with the stress, and a Diet Coke was the thing that I loved, and some goldfish was there. So I just ate it, right? So we have to go back to, is what you're doing or is how you're classifying yourself working for you, and how are you defining those things? I don't consider eating chips a negative thing. I don't consider chips a bad food. I do know that there are some chips that don't work for me, and so those might be bad. But if I ate chips and salsa, I would never classify that as binge eating. And if you are, you have to ask yourself why it is you're associating those two things together. And is it that you have identified yourself as someone who tends to check out emotionally and mentally around food, and you use food as a way to pacify yourself or to even soothe yourself when things are out of control? I can relate to that. I used to be that kind of person. And so when you recognize that and you then acknowledge that that's not working for you, now you're in the power seat because you can make a change. You can identify someone who just, like, I'm an intermittent faster. And I explain this all the time here. Like, I get the question too, like, do you fast every day for 20 hours? My brain thinks I do. Like, I just tell myself I fast every day for 20 hours and I do it clean. And that if I want the best results for myself, I just lean into what I show up as. And that's someone who intermittent fasts for 20 hours clean. Those things always match up for me. I'm never disappointed. But when I start telling my brain other things that are easier or satisfying or soothing or can pacify time, and then I'm lying to myself about what it is that I say that I want, well, that's when we end up identifying as these kind of things. And then we struggle with this emotionally, and we have all these things to blame it on that have nothing to do with the reason why we're not sticking to what it is that we say that we want. So if you are a woman who is struggling with intermittent fasting because the feasting part of your protocol is where you struggle, I highly recommend doing some thought work around that. Food is supposed to be simple for us. Food is supposed to bring us joy. Food should not be the biggest thing that's holding us back from us looking and feeling our best and living our most authentic life. And I promise you, if you identify as a binge eater, it's probably because you're not living your most authentic life. You're probably trying to show up as a perfect nutrition person, or with perfect food ideals, or with a perfect agenda that is really not feasible for most people. There's no such thing as perfection when it comes to nutrition or lifestyles or any of the things that we do. And oftentimes when we seek out perfection or we're trying to meet up to someone else's standards, then we often find ourselves in this situation because that doesn't work and it's emotionally and mentally exhausting. So then we check out. And when we check out, we tend to do things like this, right? Because we're not in a conscious decision-making place. This is where a lot of people get really tripped up with something like intermittent fasting, because they come into it in like that famine feast type of mindset, when we're really should be thinking about, how can I enjoy what I'm doing in my fasting window, and how can I support what it is that I say that I want when I'm in the decision-making process of my feast? And when we come into it with that kind of mindset, we can really avoid these types of behaviors. But it's a very conscious decision, and it's something that we have to really think about, and how it is we've shown up in the past and how we identify ourselves around food. And so if you don't want to be a binge eater and you don't want to have binge type of episodes, just decide that's not who you are. Again, the asterisk that I always have to include here is that if you do feel like you are someone who is suffering from a disordered type of lifestyle, then you have to go get professional help for that thing. A lot of women, however, throw around words like binge and sabotage and wagons and tells that we throw in, and all of those kind of things, to give ourselves a pass and to get out of a situation that we know isn't serving us, where we get sort of consoled by society because everyone does the thing, right? Oh yeah, I'm a self-sabotager too. Oh yeah, I fall off the wagon all the time. Oh yeah, I'm throwing in the towel too. Like, and we get this collective group of people who want to be miserable together. And we don't want to live that way either. So if you don't want to be those things, you have to make the decision. And I say this here all the time. Today is the day. In this very moment, you draw the line in the sand and you say to yourself, I am no longer going to show up as that person. I am a successful person who intermittent fasts, and I use my thoughts, right? And I make decisions around food that are going to serve what it is that I say that I want, while also allowing myself the opportunity to show up as my most authentic self. Because being a sterile food person is not fun and it's not realistic. And when we shoot for being sterile, meaning everything's all natural, everything's organic, we don't have any snacks, God forbid we have chips and salsa or a glass of wine on a night out with friends, and then we think we did something really bad. You have to give yourself permission to live your life around food in order to be successful with food, because guess what? Food is not going anywhere. We need it to survive. So I want you to think about that this week. Remember, we do coaching sessions here. I want you to think about the words that you're using to describe how it is you show up when you're in your feasting window. If the words aren't serving you, choose other words. You will show up the way you talk to yourself. You will show up in a way that you identify as a way that's going to serve you. If you give yourself an out, well, of course I'm not losing weight, I binge eat, then you're giving yourself permission to continue with behavior that is no longer serving you. And there's nothing that anyone can do to help you out of that situation if you're convinced that's just who you are. My advice is create statements that describe you in the way that you want to show up for yourself, and then repeat those statements to yourself so that you can ultimately have success. Intermittent fasting is the best way, in my opinion. Again, not a therapist, not a doctor, from the women that I have coached in this community, tens of thousands of you, that when you identify as an intermittent faster and you deal with how you feel mentally, physically, and emotionally in a state of hungry, and you really understand how you show up in a state where you've decided you're not going to pacify yourself with quick fixes and little treats and little savory things to pacify time, you really build a confidence in yourself and what you're capable of doing. And you realize how you have been misusing food and all of those things I just described, and why it is so many women end up with weight loss, kind of like disappointment, right? Or the thought that you cannot lose weight. And that's just because we haven't proven to ourselves that we can do it and we can keep it off. So do this work before you join a diet program. And I'm saying this coming on the heels of November, December, and coming into January. We got to do the prep work now so we don't fall victim to all these challenges and diet bets and weight loss things. We don't need any of those things. We need to rethink how it is we're showing up for ourselves and what we want to live for the next 40, 50 years, right? And how do we see ourselves showing up as our most authentic self so we can, in fact, look and feel our best? And all of that happens up here when we start to dissect how it is we're showing up and figuring out what doesn't serve us, right? I can't imagine my life without chips and salsa, and that does not mean that I'm a binge eater. I can't imagine my life without, some of the things that we have in our family and traditions that we have around the holidays, or a glass of wine here and there. I can't imagine my life without those things, right? Because that's just those are some of the things that bring me joy. And I don't have to have everything that's all natural, and I don't have to have everything that's all organic. We come to the scripts of asking people questions and jumping into communities and following people on social media based on the preconceived thoughts we have in our own head about that person. And no person should have to really show every second of their life. The person who's viewing and judging and assuming and asking those questions needs to do the thought work for themselves so that they can figure out what's going to work for them without thinking that the person who's modeling something or talking about something or coaching on something lives a life that is so, so perfect. There's no such thing. And we got to make sure that we're working on that as well. So I hope that helps you out. Binge eating is a very serious thing. I want you to think about that kind of lifestyle or that way of living before you identify as someone who is acting in that way. You can eat in an uncontrolled fashion. You can eat in an unconscious state. You can eat when you're stressed out. Like, those are all things that happen to all of us. But then you have to stop yourself and ask, why are you continuing that behavior if this is your goal? And for a lot of women, it's just that we haven't settled with the emotional connection that we have with food and how we tend to misuse it when we check out or try to soothe ourselves. We have an entire lesson on this inside of the Intermittent Fasting for Today's Aging Woman course, and the panic that a lot of women have when they think about going 20 hours without food. Panic. Right? We'll be fine. We just have to understand how it is that food is being used in our life. And so this is why we come from the fasting mindset coach atmosphere here in this community, because if I were to tell you what the perfect macro makeup for you is today to eat that, and you were having a rough day, you wouldn't care what the macros were. You are going to behaviors that you fall into when you are emotionally connected to food. And that's the work that we're trying to do here to change those things so we can live our best life for sure. Okay, some announcements. You guys, we still have our Team Rubicon fundraiser going. We're going to run that through the end of November. I'm going to remind you every live that we come on, $1, $5, $10, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is that you can contribute would be awesome. The link is in the description box, both on Facebook and YouTube. Just come back to this video and view the description box. We're trying to raise funds for all the victims on the East Coast and all the horrible situations that they're still trying to resolve on the East Coast with Hurricane Ian and all the storms that went on. So if you can contribute, we would appreciate it. Again, $1 is fantastic. We have enough people in this community. We have 306 people here right now. And if every person donated $1, we would make a change in the efforts in rebuilding the East Coast after that horrible storm. So we love that. If you're interested in the FRÉ Dy Ann set, it's still available till the end of August or end of October. You can message me or you can look in the link in the description box. Everything is there for that as well. And I'll post it on the screen. So many women have given me feedback about the set that they got, and they're absolutely loving it. And you guys know that I am a huge fan of making sure that we are feasting our face and skin and all the other parts of our life well with what we're doing with our intermittent fasting and feasting well. So that is one of the products that definitely serves us here in our community. So I'd love for you guys to grab one of those if you can. And then let me get to the questions and comments before you guys, before we shut out of here for today. Denise, girlfriend, you are first in at 11:30, 30 minutes before we started our live. And you said you were working while you wait. So good for you, my friend. Thanks for jumping in with us today. GD, I guess you'll answer soon, but is it still binging if it stays inside the 4-hour eating window? You have to, GD, you have to define what binging is. Binging is a word that I don't like. That it's like addiction. I don't like to throw those words around loosely in this community because there are people who really suffer with food addictions and binging type of behaviors. So you have to figure out what you think binging is, right? So if you're hungry during a 4-hour feasting window and you eat for the entire 4 hours and you eat in a way that's going to serve you with food choices, I don't consider that binging. I call that taking advantage of a 4-hour feasting window. So you have to really decide how you're going to define that word for you. Elzira, it's nice to see you too, my friend. It is a warm and dark and wet day here in Texas. It is like fall. It looks like fall outside, but it's like 70 something degrees. It's an interesting day here. Sharmana, October graduate. Good afternoon. 0 pounds lost. Charmin in Colorado. Of course, 0 pounds lost, right? So The thing about jumping into the intermittent fasting for today's aging woman course, and I say this here all the time, that you have to really stay consistent with what it is you're doing with your fasting and feasting and training smart over time in order for you to really see a weight loss if your body is not ready to let go of weight. So your body decides the hierarchy of healing, right? So if you had other things going on and you were fasting diligently for 20 hours clean and you were really paying attention to the signs and signals your body was sending you in that feasting window and you lost 0 pounds, I say, congratulations. Your body was working really hard at fixing a lot of things that were going on the inside. And when it's done with all of that work, you will lose weight. That's how I really like to handle weight loss here in this community for sure. And then you're going to see other people who drop all kinds of weight in the beginning. Everybody's going to be different. Beth, hello from Indiana, October grad here. We have a whole group of, I think over 400 intermittent fasting for today's aging woman graduates from October 2022. I love that you guys are graduates and are jumping on with us here. You guys did a really good job in class. I'm super proud of all of you. Tammy, did you have sleep disturbances when you were on your healing journey? Yes, and a lot before. So I was having sleep interruptions before I started fasting, and I had them while I was fasting. And anytime I'm not being honest with myself about choices that I'm making, I also have a sleep interruption. So remember, a good night's sleep is a gift, and not everyone has a good night's sleep every single night. And I think that's an expectation that has just been, I don't know, kind of like exaggerated maybe, or it's an expectation that we're holding on to that is just not going to be true. You're not going to have a good night's sleep every night. So enjoy the good night sleeps that you do have, and then see if you can try to find some clues or some things that you can connect the dots to when you don't have a good night's sleep. And then, see if you can kind of keep those at a minimum for sure. We left it behind. She doesn't use the word binging. That means you are out of control eating, and that isn't a choice. She chooses to show up for herself. Harpret, can IF cause hair loss? Not so much that it's intermittent fasting that causes hair loss, but remember, hair loss happens when our hormones are adjusting. So if you've ever been a woman who's pregnant and had children and then maybe even breastfed, those are all hormonal changes. Because of our hormones, we get this beautiful thick hair when we're pregnant, and then we start to lose hair once we stop nursing, usually because then our hormones are kind of balancing out. So hormones are what cause hair loss. So can intermittent fasting, can you lose hair while you're intermittent fasting because your hormones are balancing out? Absolutely. Absolutely. So what I recommend doing is checking for hair regrowth. So if your hair is regrowing, that's a good sign, right? Maybe check what it is you're doing in your feasting window. Make sure your minerals are up, you're hydrated, like all of those kind of things matter for sure. And then just getting older in general also causes hair loss. So there's a bunch of different things that are going on, but I wouldn't say it's only because you're intermittent fasting. Nada, enjoying mindset class, September grad. Love having you inside the midlife mindset shift course at my friend. It's a great place for our graduates to go to, where we talk about things that are, keeping us from really being able to show up looking and feeling our best and living our most authentic life. And it's not always food, right? Sometimes it's other things that we have going on, and we dive into that inside of there. So it's great to have you. Paulette, hello from North Carolina. Melissa, can lipstick or chapstick break your fast? My lips are so dry and cracking and bleeding at the same time. I don't want to break my fast over chapstick. Here's where I really, I'm probably like the exception to a lot of the fasting experts, and why I don't really like to hone on the science part of fasting too deeply. We have to get the basic part of it. But there's no need for you to walk around with chapped lips, right, and be uncomfortable. So what I would do is evaluate where you are in your journey. Make sure whatever it is you're putting on your lips is not going to be something that's going to cause you to have, kind of a hormone imbalance. So soy would be one of those things I'm looking for. Maybe some gluten inside of some chapstick. So the ingredients of your chapstick, I think, would be the thing that I would be most concerned about, especially if you're on a weight loss journey and a hormone balancing journey. And then, just be smart about it. Do you need cherry lipstick? I don't know. If your insulin is really out of whack, then that could be something that could trigger something for you. If you feel like you're more along on your journey and everything's balanced out, then that would be something that I would test for sure. I wear lip gloss all the time. I wear a lip oil, and I'm not really concerned about it breaking my fast. And I'm just kind of concerned more about ingredients and the things that I'm putting on my skin. GD, hey, I just noticed the YouTube plaque. Well done. Thank you, my friend. We did that together as a community a few months ago. The 100,000 subscriber plaque. So I appreciate you guys hanging out here with me. I couldn't do it without you. And thanks for noticing. Paulette, tuning in from Tennessee, first live, signed up for the November class. Can't wait. Cannot wait to have you in class, my friend. We're going to have a great group. I'm really excited about the November class. It's going to be the last one that I host in 2022. So if you've been on the fence, like we say here in this community, and you're ready to jump in and get some good foundation leading into the holidays and the New Year's resolution kind of frenzy, the November class is definitely the class you want to get into. Linda, August 22 grad, I heard oatmeal is good for heart health and cholesterol. Will this slow you down? I don't slow you down from what? I don't know. And they also say Cheerios is good for heart health, but there's a lot of other ways I can keep my heart healthy other than eating Cheerios. So be careful about all that labeling stuff for sure. Dima, hi Diane. When I have some cravings or badly want to eat something, but will definitely regret it later, I repeat to myself what you taught us. When in doubt, fast it out. More often than not, it works. Yes, exactly. Right. So why am I craving the thing? And sometimes the cravings are legit, right? And sometimes it's okay to give in to those things. And Dima, you said it beautifully, like when in doubt, fast it out, especially if it's in your fasting window, right? Do you want to cave into something that you're craving like 12 hours into your fast? Like not me. Can I have a little chocolate at night in my feasting window because I'm craving it? Sure. Like there's nothing wrong with that, right? And so we have to make sure we're situationally aware for sure. We're aware of where the craving is coming from. Oftentimes we crave things out of boredom or stress or sadness or just habitual cravings. And so identifying where the craving is coming from is also a really big thing to check out as well. Jude signed up for the November class today. I'm an 18-hour fast. We'll push to 20. I did 16.8 for over a year with no weight loss results, ready to tackle my 20-pound weight loss with your guidance. Jude, we're so ready to have you. Bring that energy with you to class, my friend, and you'll love it. So Diane, how many meals do you have in your eating window, or are you one meal a day? So if I fast for 20 hours, then I feast for 4. So if I feast, I have a feasting window that's open for 4 hours. Whatever I feel like I want to do during that 4-hour window is game on. I don't put any limits on that. If I don't feel super hungry in a day and I'm kind of busy and, don't need to necessarily eat a whole lot, that might be a 1 meal a day kind of thing. Do I identify as a 1 meal a day person? Absolutely not. I fast for 20 hours and I feast for 4. There could be times I have 6 meals during a 4-hour feast. There could be times I have 2. There could be times I just snack the whole time. Like I open my feasting window and I close my feasting window. Whatever happens in that feasting window happens in that feasting window. Kind of like Vegas. Go to Vegas. Whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Whatever happens during your 4-hour feasting window is totally up to you based on how you're feeling, what your day is like, what your nutritional requirements are, what your goals are, all those kind of things. And so I just open and close the window. That's the easiest way to describe my life. Brian and Beth, hi, Di. So nice to see you. So nice to see you as well. Doretta, yes, words are powerful. Well said. Like you always say, it's all mind work. It is all mind work. You can have anything that you say that you want as long as you're willing to back up what it is you say with action. It's not going to happen on its own, right? So we have to be really careful about what it is we say we want. Dima, binge eating for me is eating more than what is normal quantity speaking. Yeah. And that, that might not be binge eating, right? It could be overeating. And so if you don't like overeating, to me seems so much more realistic about that situation than binge eating, right? So if you eat beyond satisfaction, you overeat, you have to ask yourself why. Sometimes we just do. That's okay. But if you're identifying that activity of overeating as something that's also creating a conflict because you're not getting the results you're hoping for, we have to figure out why there's that problem there for sure. So we got to make sure we're not putting ourselves so tight inside that box that we're always disappointed or we're always failing or we're always identifying as these negative things. Gail, after 2 months of doing the 24 with no issues, all of a sudden the last 4 days, I feel totally starving during my fasting window. which I haven't experienced to this level. Confused on the change. You're alive. Your body's always going to be changing, always going to be adjusting. Your metabolism is always shifting. Like there could be something going on in your life that you haven't connected to the hunger signals, like all kinds of things. So if you're wanting to get yourself back in balance, I would go back to what it is we teach here or what you learned in class. If you're a graduate, I don't know if you are a graduate or not, is just put those tools back in and see if you can kind of get those hunger hormones back in balance. Remember, hunger is a hormone signal. So you just got to get the hormones balanced back out. Jackie, I'm also October grad from Indiana. Well, there you go, friends. Sandy, find friends who will do this with you or a community like the For Today's Aging Woman and let them support you in your efforts. Alone is hard. Community makes a difference with mindset. 100%. 100%, right? And again, like we put all these titles on ourselves that really aren't appropriate titles. And you do have the choice to change how it is you talk to yourself and how you identify and the excuses you use and all of those kind of things. So if you have really identified with something not working for you and you don't like it, just make the change. Is all you got to do. And it usually starts with the thoughts in your head. Tracy, for me, binge eating is when I justify eating more than I need of something because I want to be able to eat whatever it may be. Well, that's okay too. I think a lot of that comes from being very restrictive for a lot of us women, right? So then we have this permission to do something, or it's presented in front of us, and then we have kind of that feast or famine kind of thing, right? And so not everything has to be, and again, this comes from calorie counting days and managing macros and weighing everything and putting things in baggies and taking things with us and all the things that we used to do, right? And so we have that mindset of we have to stay within a certain serving size. And if you fast for 20 hours and you feast for 4 hours, how do you break down that feasting window and how do you manage your mind during that 4 hours? And you really got to do the work on that for sure. And then maybe you aren't overeating. Who knows, right? If you're fasting for 20 hours, it's really hard to overeat for 4. Alexandra, October graduate here. Something shifted in week 3. I stopped trying to pack as much food, aka binge, as possible in the feasting window to survive my fast. Now I relax and lean into it. Exactly. You don't have to panic, right? And oftentimes, especially new intermittent fasting women identify as binging in the 4 hours because we have that fear of hunger. And that's why I say, once you feel really confident in a state of hungry and you understand that hunger is just a cue and you're going to be okay because you are going to allow yourself to have that 4-hour feasting window, then everything really does settle down and you can ease into it for sure. Judy, you are welcome, my friend. Pursue sounds so wise. Awesome. Hope it helps you. Joanne, is fasting okay for diabetics? Well, if you didn't practice fasting, here's how I answer these questions. Were you fasting leading up to becoming a diabetic? And if not, then whatever you were doing led you to becoming a diabetic. And why wouldn't you want to fast to change that? So intermittent fasting, again, I am not a doctor. I can tell you from my own personal experience and a lot of women here in this community, I was diagnosed as a pre-diabetic. I jumped into fasting with both feet and I have never had a diabetic problem since. So research what causes diabetes and then figure out if that's something that you want to manage going forward or something you want to reverse. If you want to reverse it, then I would definitely jump into what we do here. And we do have a course starting in November. I would love to for you to be a member with us and go through all the things that I teach you about food and how we manage it and how it is we can kind of reverse some of those things. And then you get to make decisions based on the life you want to live for the next, 50 plus years or whatever. Diana from British Columbia. In the past, I was an emotional eater, a binger, and a sugar addict. After starting IF, amazingly, I have no cravings. This lifestyle works, maintaining my 100-pound loss. There you go. Right. And again, the problem with a lot of us, especially women, and how we were raised through the diet kind of mindset and the super skinny thing and all the things that we did when we were in our younger years, it's just reconditioning our brain for sure. And so when you can find comfort in a state of hungry as opposed to comfort in a state of full, that makes a big shift for you. When you feel energized and empowered, with the absence of food, that changes everything for you. And it creates this confidence that you can just do amazing things and you don't need these little quick fixes to get through it. So Diana, girlfriend, 100-pound weight loss. Congratulations, my friend. Elizabeth, I'm new here, and to IF, I'm really, really enjoying it. Well, welcome, my friend. I hope you're going to consider joining us for the November class. We would love to have you. Lori, September grad, it's always good to hear your mind-changing information. Everything makes so much sense as to why we might not be reaching goals. Thoughts are key, so our actions serve us. Yes, exactly. Because your thoughts are really the thing that ignite everything else that's going on with you, right? So your belief system are your thoughts. The conversations you have in your head are your thoughts. All of those things then create this sensation inside of you, and that sensation triggers feelings. Those are all emotionally connected. Then how you feel about a situation is going to determine that next step, right? Are you going to do something, and is that going to serve you, or are you not going to make any changes, and how is that going to serve you? That is what leads to the end result of how we show up for ourselves. So if you don't like the end result, you have to go back to the thought, rephrase it, change how it is it's forming in your brain, change the sensation and how you feel about the thing, so that the next action you take or you don't take is the thing that's going to actually create the result you're hoping for. Super simple concept, often hard for us to implement. Andrea, emotional and sugar is always my weakness. Yeah. So that's like a deadly combination, like, right? So when you're emotional and you identify as like an emotional kind of person and you kind of feel all the feels, and then you use sugar to kind of manage those feelings, that is where we get ourselves into a lot of trouble, right? Because we don't think about sugar being that emotional drug for us. So a lot of times we get that addictive type of feeling or that binge out of control type of feeling. And then sugar is the tool, right? But if you can manage it from the thought and emotional place, then you can get the tool out of the way and you can learn how to manage it in a different way. But it's a tough one for sure. Diana, wow, congratulations. Yeah, Diana's rocking at 100 pounds. Whew. Jan, August 22 grad and an MMA yesterday, eating amazing baked goods by an obese neighbor. Had difficulty sleeping afterwards and really questioning MMA with food. Okay, so memory making moments are what MMA is, and we talk about that a lot here in our community. So I never miss a memory making moment because of a fasting schedule or a diet, or however you want to break it down for you. So what we have to remember is memory making moments is that's not permission to go hog wild and step away from what we know serves us. Memory making moments just means you've identified some aspect of your life, event, whatever, as something you want to participate in, and you're not going to be restrictive. So I would not personally, a neighbor, depending on what kind of relationship I had with them, is not enough of a relationship for me to go step away from what my routine is, or what it is that I say that I want for myself. My kids, my in-laws, like my family, that's a whole nother story. But like a neighbor, it had to be like my BFF for me to walk away from my goals to have some baked goods event with them. I don't do cookie exchange parties. I don't do the holiday. If I go to a holiday party, like I usually bring my own thing to eat. Like I'm more important than any of those things. So I would do some work on that, Jan, and then use the little Johnny roll we talk about here, right? We don't eat cake at little Johnny's party, because if we did, we'd be eating cake every weekend or every day when someone threw a party. So put some boundaries around where it is you're going to step away from what it is you say you want for yourself. Pursue. So what about if I'm 97 pounds, not wanting to lose more weight, fasting 20 hours, 7 days? It depends. Are you fasting for the healing purposes? Are you fasting for the weight loss purposes? And then you just have to support what it is you decide to do with your fast with what it is you're going to feast on for sure. I start November 5th. Heidi, can't wait to have you. Marlene, September 22 grad. Diane, thank you for all your coaching. I always come away with more confidence after your live video. You are such a blessing to all of us. Well, thank you, my friend. I appreciate you spending your time with me. I love having an audience to talk to, and I love the fact that you guys are commenting and this resonates with you. So a lot of these things that I talk about here are because it comes to me from you guys in our community, right? Like it was interesting last week. I was like, whoa, so many binge questions. they came in like a thread almost from different people in different aspects of my life. And so I always think it's interesting when that kind of comes together, but I love sharing with you guys. Heidi, yes, my mind doesn't know how to shut down. I need food thinking. Yeah, that's something I would get some coaching on that one for sure. Right. Because we need a lot less than we think we do, for sure. We can survive on a lot less. And so, what is that connection you have with food, for sure? Christy, creating statements was my favorite day of your class. Need to go back in my notebook. January 21, grad. I hope I printed that day out. Yeah, I hope so too, my friend. And create new notes, right? Like I'm a big fan of creating statements that you really want to believe. You don't have to be there yet, right? And I shared here with you guys before, and I share inside a lot of my courses, like I say I am a conditioned athlete. No one's paying me to, wear a jersey. I mean, I'm sponsored by an athletic company, but I believe I am a conditioned athlete. And that belief system for me really changed how I show up. I make sure I fuel myself to perform like a conditioned athlete. I like to dress like a conditioned athlete. I have the equipment of a conditioned athlete, and that allows me to show up in that way. And so you get to decide how it is you want to show up, and just make sure that the words that you're choosing will get you to where it is you say you want to go. Joanne, I've always thought that not eating causes your metabolism to slow down. Girl, you've been duped like all of us. It's actually the opposite of that. And so eating small meals that are very calorie restrictive throughout the day is actually what causes our body to go into what we're afraid of, which is starvation mode, and it reduces our metabolic burn rate. And so fasting, when you do it clean and you really are working on the food choices that are going to serve your body, actually increases our metabolic burn rate. So yeah, we all got duped. Don't feel bad about it. We all got it. Now we know better, so we do better. Michelle, October grad, no weight loss on scale. Who cares? I have lost 10 inches, which is amazing. Please, all you that haven't yet, invest in yourself and join DYANN Parham. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, so that's the cool thing about, and what I love about intermittent fasting, and why I really we like to hear weight loss numbers. I get it. It's an emotional thing. I like it too. But the weight loss is something that is always such a mystery, because you can lose 10 inches and not lose any weight. Why? Right? But if we only think about the weight loss as the win, and we don't really value what inches lost means for us in a health standard, and how it is that our body can now have so much less to deal with on the inside cellularly, girl, you're winning. Forget the weight. 10 inches lost is a big deal. I've lost 10 inches before. I know it's a big deal. Everything about who you are and how you show up has changed because you have lost 10 inches. So hold on to that, my friend, because that's going to serve you for a long time. Lisa, I started 24 fasting 16 weeks ago. I've had a couple days where I have life days and resumed the next day. I've lost 45 pounds. I feel so much better. Thank you for making it make sense to me. You're welcome, Lisa Lee. Way to go, my friend. Yeah, and you got to live your life. Food is not going anywhere. Elizabeth, memory making moments are MMM. So if you've ever been on a quote unquote diet, which is usually pretty restricted or guided specifically, and has a length of time that you're in it, with you either succeeded or failed at it by an end date. We've often put ourselves in position where we've missed memory making moments, right? We've missed birthday parties or weddings, or we felt like we weren't allowed to eat certain things, and we don't live that way here. So we give ourselves the opportunity to enjoy memory making moments, but I do recommend putting boundaries around them and identifying who a memory making moment is worth having time with, or stepping away from what it is you say you want. Cindy, loved the October class, fasting 22 hours today. Wow, girlfriend, getting easier every day. Totally a mindset issue. Feasting is also clearer to me now. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah, when you figure out feasting for you, it becomes very obvious. We, again, as in a society, right, of diet mentality, have just been conditioned to think that we don't have the right to think about food for ourselves, or we can't make our own food decisions, or we don't know how much we're supposed to eat, and all the things. And so we really lose that skill set. And so what I really want to teach you guys inside the Intermittent Fasting for Today's Aging Woman course, which starts on November the 5th, is you can make decisions for yourself about how it is you want to eat and what it is you like to eat and how much of it you need to eat. You get to decide that. And then when you build up that skill set again, then girlfriend, you're going to have that skill set forever. Just keep practicing it. And Cindy, those results will just keep coming. Brian and Beth, October class, how can I purchase the Lumen? You can go back into your class and on the dashboard, there's information there, or you can send me an email, my friend, and I will send you the information. My $50 discount code is still active, so I can get you the code to do that. Just email me or go back in your course. It's there. Pursue, I'm often not hungry. Yeah, if you're fasting correctly, that's the case. That's the beautiful thing about fasting, right? Is when you're doing it correctly, your body finds things to feast on internally, and your hunger hormones tend to balance out. Judy, beautiful here in Florida. Well, now I'm jealous because it's dark and rainy here in Texas. Alexandra, October graduate here. Love the course. Something shifted in week 3. Learn to relax. Okay, I think I read that one already. But I love that it shifted for you. Week 3, it shifts because week 1, you go in like the deer in the headlights. I don't know if this is going to work for me. Week 2, you settle in and realize that the fasting, once you get that part down, everything else starts to click. And week 3, we talk about the mental and emotional aspects. And that's really where the last piece of that puzzle comes together. Vicky, October grad, started 16.8 the week before the class started, then 24 this month, down 10 pounds. Vicky, I love that for you, my friend. And I'm glad you went all in with me and went to that 20 hours. That is where the magic happens. And that's where I like so many of us to default to, so that you can have that freedom and flexibility to kind of ebb and flow when life happens, for sure. Nikki, my first live meeting. Welcome. Sorry for being late. Don't worry about it, my friend. Excited to listen to what I missed. Thank you for all you do. Do you use a recommended glucose monitor? Nikki, in the description box of the YouTube channel, you can go to any YouTube channel or any YouTube video. There's a description box. And I put the link with a discount code if you want to get the monitor that I use. And I like a glucose and ketone monitor combined because glucose by itself doesn't really tell us anything. Janine, my friend, you look fabulous today. Love your sweater. Any idea where you got it? Waiting for my FRÉ to arrive. Ordered 3 sets. Are you gifting them? I'm sure you're going to give one to your daughter. She's going to love it. My water pick arrived Saturday. I love it. Dentist appointment tomorrow. Oh, girl, you're doing all the things. I will share where I got my sweater from inside the Midlife Mindset Shift community group. And thank you for complimenting it. It's my favorite fall sweater. And I'm glad you're loving all your things. And then let me know how you like your FRÉ. Everyone has been giving me great feedback. I hope you like it as well. Jean, love your 24 IF plan. I lost about 11 pounds in June and have lost an additional 8 pounds over the next 4 months. This is a way to go for older women. Yes, for sure. It is a way to go. And it sounds like you're killing it. So good for you. Linda, October 22 grad, loving the simplicity of the program. Yes, that's the goal. If it's not simple, we probably won't stick to it. So we have to create a simple lifestyle so that we will be encouraged to keep coming back to it, for sure. Kathy, October grad. I love all my grads. What a great class. Learned a ton and feeling great. This is my new normal. I love that for you, Kathy. And then come back here, right? My grads are here. We come here live to just keep reinforcing, right? And I don't know why I just stuttered that, but we keep reinforcing what we learned in class, and we keep bringing questions, right? And we keep bringing things that we're realizing, and then we'll just keep the discussion flowing here for sure so that we can all stick to this. Fiona, the link you put on here for the FRÉ product says page not found. It does? Oh no. Let me see what I put on there. Let's see. Well, go to this code. Go to this link right here, Fiona. For today's aging woman .com. I put it there too because it's easier to say this /codes. Let me type it really quick. Codes. Okay. So if you go to for today's agingwoman.com /codes at the very top of that page, it's going to have the information for the FRÉ set. It's called the DYANN set, which I totally love. And it has 4 of my favorite products. The retail value of that is $132, and they've discounted it for our community for $69. So go grab a set or 2. buy your holiday gifts or whatever you need to do. It is only available to US right now, but I told them all my international women were upset that they couldn't get it. So they're working on getting something available for our international audience as well. So stay tuned for that. So for today's agingwoman.com/CODES, it's available there as well for you guys. So you can get it there. Okay, so where did I go? Last one, Fiona. Okay, September. Definitely thought of myself as a binge eater, but this class changed that thought. Mel, I love that. I changed my mind, changed my life. And for the first time in 15 plus years, I'm under 200 pounds. Girl, I'm about to drop a tear. I absolutely love that. And that statement right there that you just shared makes me feel like I am doing my job well, because I'm here to change minds and behaviors and mindsets and belief systems. And then the result of that is change lives, right? And being under 200 pounds for the first time in 15 years. And you keep rinsing and repeating, and you keep coming back here and checking in with us, and you keep leaning into what we share here. And I promise you, girlfriend, that will not only stick, but get better for you. I'm so proud of you. You have the power to change your mind. And when you change your mind, you change your life. And Mel, you are proving that exactly the way we teach it here. So thank you for that. Elizabeth, hello. I start on November 5th. I'm excited. Linda, October grad. Love what you said. Decide your mindset to decide how you want to show up for your life. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Someone else will decide it for you. If you're not firm on how it is you choose to show up for yourself and the thoughts you think in your head about you, someone else is likely to create those thoughts for you, right? By telling you what they think about you, or telling you what you need to do, or whatever it is you're going to give them the power to do. So you stay in control of your mindset. You stay in control of your life. Jackie, October grad, doing well with the fasting, still working on feasting. Would love to connect with anyone in Indiana. Well, it sounds like you got a lot of Indianans here. And yeah, the feasting part is always going to be the biggest struggle, because there's just a lot of choices, right? And there's a lot of information, and there's a lot of parties, and there's a lot of holidays, and there's a lot of people and their opinions. And so the feasting part is always going to be the thing that's going to be the biggest challenge, because that's where we create opportunities to make choices and have thoughts and have feelings and all those things. The fasting part's easy. You do nothing. So it's okay to feel challenged during the feasting part. That's the beauty of what we get to do here. And just lean into that and find joy in it. Melissa, done 3 weeks of 20-hour clean fast, and my Lumen says 4. What am I doing wrong? I don't eat gluten, dairy, or eggs. So you're not doing anything wrong. Remember, the Lumen is feedback, right? About what your body chemistry and hormonal makeup is doing based on where you are at the time when you blow into the Lumen. So you don't have to necessarily be doing anything wrong. And there's a lot of, I can't even give you an answer about what that 4 means, because there's a lot of pieces that go with that. If you follow me on Instagram, come to Instagram on Friday at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time and come on live with me and share all your information, and I can coach you better there for sure. Diane, why do we have headaches when we fast? Not everyone has a headache when they fast. So some people do. It could be that you're dehydrated and you're not getting enough, maybe electrolytes, and you could be detoxing from something. So there could be a bunch of different things. Mary, October grad, started at 205.6 on the first day of class, weighed in at 194.4 this morning. Girl, your course opened my eyes to IF and the choices I've been making. I'm learning more about what works for me and my body, and this course and community has been so valuable in the process. Mary, you are so, so welcome. Thank you for trusting me with you. Congratulations on that weight loss. That's a big deal. And just keep rinsing and repeating what you learned in class, my friend. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Go back to your lessons. Come back here on Mondays and Thursdays. Like anything that you need from me to keep you on this journey, girl, you just come and take it. And we'll keep showing up for you. And we want to hear how you're doing. So keep us posted on your progress. And you can have anything you want. You just proved that if you set your mind to something, you can get a result. And so you just keep setting your mind to things, my friend. Shauna, welcome back. We missed you. Thank you, my friend. I'm going to be gone a week in November too, but I'll keep you guys posted on that. I think around the middle of November. Wendy, I feel like binge eating for me is when I eat the same thing like candy for days in a row, and then I've had enough and I'm not over it until the next binge. Okay, so here's where I say you've recognized a problem and you've like shared it beautifully, right? How that happens for you. And if candy is your thing, remove the problem. So if candy is a thing that you feel like you don't have control over and it has control over you, you have to get rid of the problem. It's just like if you were an alcoholic or a drug addict, you wouldn't have those things in the house. So just get rid of the problem. Don't buy candy. Don't have it in the house. And then you can't binge on it. And then now you can identify as something else. It's super easy. We just have to recognize the problem and then eliminate the problem. Charlotte, can't believe I finally caught you live. I have a question. You say that even if you drink sugar-free drinks, it will break your fast. Can you drink it while your food is still in your stomach? Is there a time limit? I don't know how to answer that one. So yeah, you can't have sugar. Remember, sugar-free, whatever the additive to what makes it sugar-free is in that thing is oftentimes worse on our system than the sugar itself because of the glycemic effect that it has on our body. So you just have to be aware of what it is you're drinking, but anything that you put in your feasting or your fasting window could potentially break your fast. So why would you risk that with the sugar-free drink? Sugar-free doesn't necessarily mean healthy. Where can I order the chocolate daybreak bars? You mean the midday square bars? You can't order them anymore. You can buy them at grocery stores. Target has them. And we have Central Market here, HEB, they carry them as well. So go to their website. I think they share there. They don't sell them online anymore. Carrie, October 22 grad, 10 pounds gone. Love it. Skin improving. Love that more. Great energy. Love that the most. Looking forward to joining the Midlife Mindset Shift course. It's so exciting to imagine the next 6 months continuing learning and doing this lifestyle with all of you. Oh, girl, we cannot wait to have you. If you haven't signed up yet, make sure you get signed up before Sunday. If you need anything from me to help you get signed up, just email me. I'll help you any way that I can. But 10 pounds gone, skin improving, great energy. Love it. Love it. And she only started with us in October. Fantastic. Fiona, I notice when my feasting hour comes and after about 4 bites of whatever I'm prepared, I get full right away. Yeah, could be. Maybe you fasted well. Elizabeth, I'm going to do your class. I lost 30 pounds already and I'm truly happy now. Come on in, girlfriend. Come on in. I'm going to teach you how to not have those weight loss, weight gain issues in your life anymore, where you can lose weight and believe you can keep it off. So we would love to have you in class. Vanessa, love this community. Thanks, Diane. I too have a high cholesterol, hereditary. I'm going to get the calcium test. Hopefully I won't need statins again. Yeah, get that calcium test for sure. And then talk to a cardiologist. Don't talk to a general practitioner about your cholesterol. You'll probably get better insight for sure. That's okay about the autocorrect, girlfriend. I am the queen of grammatical and typos, grammatical errors and typos, and I also stutter and trip over my own tongue. So you don't have to correct yourself around me. I get it. Elizabeth, memory making moment. That's going to help me so much when family is around. Thank you. Yes. Don't miss memory making moments. But this is a mindset thing also. Also, don't use memory making moments as like a little excuse or a little way to bend the rules so you go off the deep end, and then blame it on a memory making moment. You still have to have guidelines and boundaries, but you just don't want to miss those important things in your life. Martha, loving your chat and encouragement. Moved from 3 meals to 2 meals per day, then 1 in 20-hour feasting window. I've lost 60 pounds and have less arthritic pain and lower blood pressure. There you go. Like the pounds that you guys lose, I love because that gets people's attention because that's just how we are. But man, the less arthritic pain and the lower blood pressure and the more energy and the skin improving, those are the things that absolutely warm my heart. So I love that you guys are getting all those things and sharing those as well. Lucia, catching you live. I'm doing 20 hours daily. Feeling great. Love it. Pursue, you're so special and wise. Thank you, my friend. I've hit a lot of bumps in the road in my life, and I've gone through a lot in my life. So I understand what a lot of you are going through, and I understand the sticking points, and I've done a lot of training, and I've done a lot of therapy, and I've read a lot of books, and I get a lot of coaching. So I get it. And I also know that there's the other side of it, and you can get yourself out, and you can change your mindset, and you can change your life, and you can change your belief system, and you can have everything in your life that you say that you want. I believe you can. But that's only because I've been through a lot of it myself. Food has no morality. Exactly. Lori, I find that just saying to myself, okay, me eating, my eating window is closed, it solidifies the mindset. And if I crave something during the fast, it's just, nope, the window's closed. That's why I tell myself I fast every day for 20 hours and I feast for 4. And when I end my feasting window, I tend to like have a little routine where I brush my teeth and I wash my face and I do all the things that just says, we're closed for shop. We closed up shop and we're moving on to a new fasting opportunity. So you can create those little like habit layering things as well. Beth, how long do we have to review the videos from class? You have 4, as long as that class is active online. Tracy, grad of the amazing August class. Love it. What amount of protein is too much? I have heard too much turns into glucose. Is that true? Yes, I think so. I don't know. So you have to just find what feels good for you. And that's what we kind of talk about in the feasting week. Like you can over protein yourself really easily and you can under protein yourself really easily. Some people need more protein. Some people function better on less. So you got to kind of ebb and flow your way to figuring that out for you for sure. Thank you, my friend. September 22 grad in midlife mindset shift group working towards a 36-hour fast today after having fun on the weekend. I hope you're having a 36-hour fast to just reset and you don't have that mindset of undoing a great weekend. So I know you're in the mindset shift course, so I know you're thinking that way. So Schilt, I have a second friend who started following you and started her IF journey last week. I love it. Thank you for paying it forward. You are welcome. If we could get one, should we get a Lumen or Keto Mojo? I don't know. So one tests blood glucose and ketones, and it is a hard number, which tells you what your glucose is and your ketones are the moment you run the test. The Lumen, in my opinion, the way I like to describe it, is an anticipation of what's about to happen with blood glucose and ketones. And it tells you how your body is responding to a bunch of different things in your life: stress, sleep, hydration, nutrition, fitness, all those kind of things. And so it's very personality driven. The Lumen has a little bit of a learning curve. The Keto Mojo are hard factual numbers. But you also have to create a mindset around you getting your numbers and why you're getting those numbers. So Lumen and Keto Mojo don't fix a problem. They help you identify where things might not be working for you and help you identify where things are working for you. Both of them have a learning curve. I would email me at dianeparhamfitness@gmail.com and let me know what you're looking for, and I can probably pinpoint you in the right direction. Janine, yes, my daughter's receiving a FRÉ Set. So excited for her. I love that you guys are gifting that. Kathy, got my FRÉ yesterday. Love it. Skin feels great. So happy for you. I did my detox this morning, of course, because it's Monday. Mondays and Thursdays are detox days. So I hope you're using the detox. I love it. Twice a week. And then you use your makeup remover and then your skincare and then the argan oil. Love it. Love it. What's FRÉ? It's a skincare line that has really good ingredients in it that I have an opportunity to partner with the company. It's called FRÉ Skincare, and they're doing a little special for us. So I put it in the description box if you guys want to check it out. So it's fortoday'sagingwoman.com/codes. I'm going to start talking really fast because I want to get through these comments and we're already at an hour. JB, will fasting breaking down of body fat stir up hormones causing tender breasts and hot flashes in someone in their late 60s? It could, for sure. Deb, October grad, thanks for addressing the topic and 3 weeks mindset lessons, learning to be kinder to myself. Yes. You need to, for sure, and to donate. So the place that we're donating is in the description box. It's Team Rubicon. They are a veteran-run organization that go out and help rebuild areas where disasters have taken place. And there's the code or the link for the FRÉ. So fortoday'sagingwoman.com/codes. Or if you just go to fortoday'sagingwoman.com and at the top of my website, it says Diane's favorite things plus codes. If you click that, you'll be taken to the place where the FRÉ stuff is. Just got the set in the mail. So excited. Okay, here's the other thing I love about FRÉ. Not only are the ingredients great and the company is amazing, but man, their products just feel good in your hands and I call them sexy. I think they're super sexy with their marketing. They just make you feel good having them around. So put them in a place where you can enjoy how they look also. Super fun. Welcome to Wonderland. Yes, for sure, Mel. Welcome to Wonderland. Rinse and repeat. I love it. Yes, you have to. When you find something that's working for you, do not go try to find the next best thing. rinse and repeat what is working for you. And I promise you the results will get better or at least stay the same. Christina, hello, greetings from Europe. Thank you. You're welcome, my friend. Tanya, hello, I've been fasting for 20 hours and one meal a day. Will this weight fall off? Okay, so if you're you're fasting for 20 hours a day, you have a 4-hour feasting window. If you're really practicing one meal a day, you're fasting for 23 hours. You usually have about an hour window where you feast and then you close it down and you start your fast. So maybe you're doing a combination of the both. I don't know. Will the weight come off? I don't know. It depends on how your body's healing and what you're really doing in your fasting window and how it is you're choosing to feast. Lots of options there. Josette, August 22 grad. When we have access to our course for a year or lifetime access. If you are a 2022 grad, you get lifetime access. If you're a 2023 grad and a 2021 grad, we're going back to just 365 days. And I just run tests to see how often people go back to their course and their content, right? And so that we just ran a lifetime access for 2022 as an experiment, but we are going back to just 1 year next year. So if you want lifetime access, get into the 2022 graduating class. Linda, is there a discount code for the November session? No, I don't do discount codes. It is $197, 21 lessons, 30 days with me as your coach where I'm in the class with you. It is severely discounted as it is. So no need to offer a discount for a class that will absolutely change your life. Wendy, October grad. Yes, I agree about not keeping the candy in the house. So I definitely don't keep it any longer. No problem with that. I've recognized that that's a problem. Thanks for all you do. Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. And if you were just describing that that was a problem for you, then good for you for kind of putting all those pieces together. Sometimes it's hard to discern the comments that are written and where you are in the situation, but it sounds like you've got it covered, my friend. Both. Beth, do you take HSA cards for your mindset course? No, I'm not with a medical facility or anything like that. Cindy, I asked my doctor for a calcium heart test and he said it's an imaging test. Is that correct one or is it a blood test? No, it's an imaging test. They actually take a picture of your heart. Pursue, what cardiologists for cholesterol? Are there better testing than antiquated blood tests? I too have high cholesterol levels. Go get a calcium heart score test. You can ask your doctor to refer you to a cardiologist. They do it in a cardiologist facility and it tells you what calcium buildup you have around your heart. Okay, how do we sign up for your class? You go to fortoday'sagingwoman.com/find out more. I put that in the comment section if you guys want. I'll put it again. Oh no, I don't have it there. So go to fortoday'sagingwoman.com/find out more, or fortoday'sagingwoman.com is my website. Scroll through the website and you can find all the registration information, or you can message me. Candace, August grad, have lost over 20 pounds and feeling great, doing 24 clean fasting, heading for a 10-day trip to Israel, going to enjoy it with my modified 16-8. Thank you. You're welcome, girlfriend. What a great trip. I have Israel on my bucket list. One of my best friends lives there and I cannot wait to go visit. So I hope you have a great time. Eat all the food because the food there is going to be great. Linda, the class has been one of the best investments in my life, investing in my health for my future self and my loved ones. Yes, perfectly stated. Lori, can you confirm, is November class not lifetime access or only duration of the program? The November 2022 class will have lifetime access to your course lessons. If you sign up for the course that we will be having in January 2022, you'll get 1 year access to your course lessons. How much is the class? $197, also known as priceless. Renee from South Africa, new to IF and loving it. Am I eating too much at feasting time, feeling sick? Love your community. Can't wait to see the results of IF, rinse and repeat. I don't know. I would jump into class with us. We can do more work inside of class and trying to figure out what it is that's actually making you feel like you are sick. Sometimes it could just be some food choices that you're making and have nothing to do with what you're doing in with your fasting and feasting at all. So there's always more than one thing is kind of what I like to break it down for. And That's what we have to figure out when we're in class, right? Okay, so I put the link. You can't click on links inside of YouTube, I don't think. Maybe you can, I don't know. But there's a big old long link for the Keto Mojo. If you guys are interested in that, I do recommend getting the promo bundle, which is the most you can get. It has the Bluetooth, it has extra testing strips, because I'm going to warn you, in the very beginning of testing blood glucose and ketones, you're going to be a little frantic about it. We all do it. So you're going to be that person too. So that gets you extra testing strips and stuff like that, so you don't run out. But I put the links. I don't know if you can click them or not. It looks like on YouTube it was a really long link and it didn't take. So let me see if I can do this one instead for YouTube. If you guys want the test there. The link works fine on YouTube. Okay. Here's a shortened link for YouTube too, if you guys need it. It's like a bit.ly link. And then I have a discount that you can take advantage for that. Okay. I have talked my face off. I love all the questions and comments. Here's what I want you to take away from today. If you're still here from the beginning, you get to decide how you show up for yourself and how you identify. If you are saying things like, I'm a binge eater, or I'm binging, or I binge, or you use that word, I want you to do some thought work on that. Why are you classifying yourself in that way? And what can you do to be in control? Because oftentimes we identify as binge eating when we just feel out of control. And that usually happens when we show up around food in an unconscious state. We use food to pacify things we don't want to feel. And so that's where we have to do the mindset shift work for sure. And my cute sweater. Okay. I will share. I'll have to get where I got my sweater from. So I will share it with you guys. Follow me on Instagram. Make sure you're following my Instagram, because that is the easiest place to share what it is, like in links and all that kind of stuff. And I will do my best to put it in the community group here on YouTube. If you guys don't want to go to another social media site, I get that for sure. I'll post it in a link when I figure out what it is in the community section of YouTube. So that's where you got to make sure you're following and subscribe for sure. Amy, I was planning to join the November class, and then we had last minute planned a cruise for November. Should I jump in the class? Well, here's the deal. And you guys know who are my students. You guys can back me up on this one. I'm not going to tell you not to enjoy yourself on a cruise if you're in class. I'm going to teach you how to think while you're in class. So it's not a diet. Nothing's restricted. I've been on cruises before and fasted and lost all kinds of weight on vacation. So I help you create a mindset of just showing up in a different way around food and vacationing and all the things, right? So if you want to jump into class in November and you have internet connection and you can log in every day, I would say jump in. Don't be afraid of the lifetime access thing going away. Like, you still going to have a year. And I have been on the internet coming to coach you guys live for 5 years. I'm not going anywhere either. So you can still jump into the January class. From a business standpoint, I just do experiments with how long I give you access to the class, but that shouldn't make you feel frantic or like you're missing out on anything, or if you have other plans. Go enjoy your cruise. We'll be here in January. You can still jump in class in January. If you feel like you're a lifetime access kind of person and you don't want to miss out on that, then jump in. But you only get the community group for the month. So you're only going to be in the community group for the month of November. You won't get it in January, December, whatever, if you're a November grad. So those are some things to consider. And if you really want to talk it through with me, just send me an email and I'll help you decide for sure. But don't do anything frantically. Everything's going to be okay. I promise you. Okay. With that said, I got to go. I got a full day of consult calls. So if you've got consult calls scheduled with me today, I'll see you in a little bit. I will link my sweater in the community group of YouTube when I get a chance to get that. And I'll share it with you guys on Instagram today as well. Thank you for supporting us here in this community. I'm so excited for all of you who have FRÉ. Cannot wait for the feedback on that one as well. If you can, like I said, with some of the announcements I made, you can support Team Rubicon and our efforts there. I would appreciate that. Everything's in the description box. Love you guys. I'll see you guys on Thursday.